So we have minutes, 30 something minutes. We'll go through real quick to everybody's case. If you need anything, or if you also just need to watch, here to watch, you can also just do that. Anybody want to start? I really want to dive deep as soon as possible, because I know that then when we have no time left, people starting later. So like since we're all here already, there might be other people showing up. If you want to do something or ask things or do some more practical stuff towards anything in specific, this is the tactical time that we have together. And it's, of course, for most of you is already an addition to what you just have. For some people that come maybe later, is the best way to actually get pushed. So Cecilia, Selma, Malin, like, do you have anything like you want to ask for your case specifically that we can go through?
Sorry, my family is talking around me here.
Yes.
Okay, so who wanna go first? Please unmute yourself and go, because seriously, like we have limited time, so I'm not gonna be able to make it longer than what we have. So if you want to ask anything, just go ahead. Cecilia?
Okay, so I'll...
Oh, Malin, you wanna go first?
Sorry.
Hey!
It's okay. Hey! Gå du, kör du.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Good.
Everything is okay. Back from workout.
Cool. I asked you to come here. I remember when the chat, I asked you to come to this call because there was something that I wanted to see to your specific situation when it comes to, I don't know if you had a specific question towards that, but for you, this call is kind of good because the way you are inside the program in the course, this is kind of like the best way if you want to have a real application to what we can do in addition to that. Did you had anything specifically towards the check-in that you did?
No, not really. Just working hard. I have had much work to do, so just do the workouts and it's okay.
Yeah. Do you see, because I was watching, your picture a little bit and everything, do you see that you're going towards the results? Meaning like because yours is more so like to now you got already very, very defined and you wanted to get less definition and more tone. Based on the intake of, your calorie and everything, do you feel like you're getting closer and closer to that? Do you see or not really?
Yes, I can see it. And especially my legs are growing and I can feel my belly. I feel stronger in my body.
Okay.
That's great. And my shoulders, my back is stronger.
Okay.
I sleep better. Yes. So I can see it. That's great.
Less cardio?
Less cardio, but I walk with my dog and I walk in my work. So that's not easy to do less walking.
Right. Yeah.
But
you need to give me someone that walking to me. You need to give it to me so I can walk. Okay, so
I like it. I feel I can relax when I walk also. So
that's good. That's good.
Yes.
So then it's good. Like you don't have any particular question regarding, because I wasn't sure if it was more so like you add specific needs for that to know to go more, but you're going towards that already, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's go through everybody because I know otherwise you guys are not gonna talk. So Selma, how you been? Because I remember you said you wanted to I said come to the call here before. This way we still have a call.
Yeah.
Privately. But,
hi everyone. Yeah. Hi everyone. First, sorry, I was a bit delayed. I was connected, but not actually here. Yeah, cool that we had also that we had this opportunity as well to talk also in the group. So I think it's also when did I start? I started the beginning of this year. I think also things are progressing. Of course, I had also the, let's say, ups and downs regarding also my daily routine, just because there was this period where I was traveling a lot, and yeah. But overall, the question is also maybe, so of course we have sometimes setbacks, you know, in terms of whether, you know, some bad food habits, or whether we are lazy some days to do the workout, or any other things. How do we, let's say, minimize this? So sometimes, I mean, the good thing is that it's not lasting forever, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also good to let's say, get more in the habit of minimizing, let's say, the setbacks.
What do you mean by setbacks? Because that's kind of crucial. It's like, you mean like because this is kind of for everybody, like you're very motivated when you see results, but and you feel like you're changing, and then when you stop seeing results for like a week only, then there is the doubt creeps in your mind, right? It's like, okay, is it still working? And like, so what do you mean by setback? It's like, is a mental setback, or is more so like you lose 5 kilos and you gain back 2 kind of set? But what is
No, it's really setback in terms of, let's say, habits or routines, where you say, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not so much disciplined with the workout as I used to be. What I also noticed sometimes there is, so for me there was always this of course bar to go below the 80 kilos, and when it was also, I saw it's 79. It's very good, and for me it was a big win. But I wonder whether I should not also. So of course my goal, and that's what we discussed also in the beginning. So 10 more kilos again to go. But where I thought, yeah, actually it's like, you know, a milestone was achieved. And maybe I need again to raise the urgency towards, you know, going further down.
Okay, so let me explain this, because I know where you're going, and I'm trying to open up now to like the board, because I want to make a kind of like a drawing with you, or for you, or for everybody really, because this is not something that is only applied to you, applies to a lot of people, and I feel like it's something highly misunderstood when it comes to results and keeping the results, and it's highly misunderstood. So here is like what it looks like, right? So let's say that you have crap, this thing is always like, where are the shapes? No, where are the lines? Is this one then? Yes, okay. Let's say your journey is here, right? Like, let's say you are starting on top, and then you need to lose, you know, here you're, let's say you don't remember the weight. So let's say you are, I don't know, 70, right? And then you know that there is this magical, let's call this that it was 80, right? And you tell me it's like, I have a magical things in my mind. What the hell is doing? No, this one, this, not the other one. Okay, here, and let's say that the ultimate results is let's say the ultimate results is 70, right? You follow me? And then in your mind it's like sorry, let's say ultimate results is like 60, sorry, not, and then you have in your mind 70. I never achieve in my mind because I'm 40, I cannot do it anymore because now is whatever, right? This is what most people have. So the first thing is like this, mentally, like this is what happens usually. It's like most people. Here, you need to get the first memory. Okay, so this is the first memory. It's like, I need to see that this thing is real, it's possible. And when you're list, it's like, okay, I do my best, I do my habits, and initially, you do everything, your diet, everything. Like you see a lot of results quickly. You start seeing results quickly, but the more I have, like, there is a graph that sometimes is kind of like conflicting, because it's like, at some point, you put in, to get here, you put in an amount of work, right? Sometimes you're gonna need to put in more work and you're gonna see less results. So the graph is like, you know, you put in more work and then, you know, the results start to become less. Like this is a graph. It's not like correlated, right? When you get here, you're like, this is why I said multiple times, mentally, you don't want to say yourself, I want to get to 60, but I'm going to be happy with 70, because you're never going to get there. Mentally, you need to say, I'm going to go to 6, even I would say I'm going to go to 55. And even you should want to get there physically too, because it's like it's a lot easier to kind of get there. So this is the first step, your first milestone. You start yourself. Then it becomes a little frustrating if you go back and forth. If you go here back and then like you go forward here and you don't crush that. What gets you here is the initial habits and the initial nutrition. So mentally you say, okay, what got me here? You don't want to fall asleep when you're 70. You just want to keep going, right? Now, the thing is that your body will want to fight back. We talk about set points. And this is, again, huge misunderstanding of everything. And you want, and this is why I need you, all of you and the people watching the replay to understand that. What happens to this thing now? Why is it doing that? Okay. That there is cycles of weight loss, okay? It's like this. Weight loss is not like most people feel like it is, okay? Weight loss is not like this. Weight loss is like this. You're going up and down and down. If we find a first strategy to be 3 workouts a week and you lose 500 calorie deficit gets you to 70 or 65 kilogram, right? Then at some point, when you decrease more calorie, when you eat less, when you work out more, when you walk more, when you do all these things, and you cannot do any more because we're going into metabolic adaptation and we're going into your body getting accustomed to, you start not sleeping well, you start cravings, you start all that. That's physiologically your body is telling you is enough. You cannot do it anymore for the moment. So it's a cycle. So the first step is like you get to 70. Then you move away from this, you move away, and now we say, how can we maintain 70 for a while? Realistically, it's not gonna, like you're gonna do the same things you're doing now, you're not gonna maintain 70. Realistically, you're gonna get some weight back. And this is the first problem. Mentally, you break because it's like, I think, oh, it's not working anymore. You're not understanding how your body works because it's like, there is wave that you need to maintain. And the goal is like, what do you think? Let me ask you, Salma, because I want you to actually kind of like logistically think. If you go from 80 to 70, and I tell you, you need to maintain for 6 months, what is the goal to you now? Stay in 70? What is the goal for the next 6 months? Let's say we're going to maintain.
If I maintain, what would be the habits that I would
No.
keep?
I'm saying, like, I said, doesn't matter how you got here, but we established now that you're 1,200 calorie, you walking 20,000 steps, you have to work out. You cannot do less, is undoable, right? So what is the goal? I said, let's work on 3 months of maintenance and make it shorter. But what is the goal for you to do on that specific thing? Is it to lose weight, to stay the same, or to gain, or kind of avoid? But what is the goal?
I mean, the maintaining for me, the straight answer would be to stay at the same weight, but I assume that the right answer maybe is to keep or to stay to remain in the same metabolic cycle. Or am I over-analyzing?
No, you're over-analyzing, but it's basically not to go back to 80. Okay?
I see, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
People want to hear that you're going to maintain 70, doing the same things. It's not going to happen. It's cycles. It's like you see bodybuilders, it works better to see bodybuilders. The best bodybuilders in the world, after 10, 20 years, they're winning the Olympia because they've been doing these habits, this passion forever. They have cycles. It's like you lose weight, you avoid, instead of gaining 80, you only gain 75. Then you do the same thing we just did here again. So from 75, you go to 65, and then you maintain, and then you only get back to 70. These are big number, but this is
I see. Okay, so it's
yeah.
It's like a plateaus then,
it's
but
like
we need
it's
to
like
go back
it's like
to
the
this,
maintenance phase is the maintenance phase, which people don't want to hear. That's the reality. It's like you cannot maintain what you are, because it's like, why people don't want to hear, because they feel like maintaining is going to be a drag. So it's like, if you got here with 5 workouts a week, and then you got here with 1,200 calorie, now we're going to get you to maintain with 1,500 calorie and maybe 3 workouts a week. Of course, that's at some point you're gonna get some weight back. Who is the person that actually able to continue this journey? the one that doesn't defeat the mind. It's like, okay, I'm gaining 2 kilos back. I'm still gonna do this because I love myself enough to do it. I care about myself. I'm doing self-care. I'm not like why some people are, why do I turn away 90% of the people that I get to a call to get into a program? When they say, I hate my body, I need to do this because if I don't like, it's like, okay, you need to be willing to work on yourself, mind, because it's like, if this is not gonna be happening, I'm not like, as soon as you gain the weight back, 1 kilo is gonna be a problem. But you need to understand tactically what happens. If you gain back only 5 kilo, but you love it enough, and it's like, it's a passion, I want to work out, I want to get better, I want to get stronger, I want, like, then it's like a maintenance. Okay, you do maintenance, you do sound down, you maintain for a while, you avoid getting back to weight, because what is the problem with the marketplace anyway? It's like, why doing a diet for 3 months or 2 months and then doesn't work never? Why? Not for keto doesn't work, keto works. The problem is if you do keto and you do restriction and you lose 5 kilo, when you stop doing that, if you put back in when it's done not done properly, you gain back 6 kilos. So you go to a worse position. This is the problem. So when you say the setbacks, it's like, first you need to understand how the body, like how the weight loss work, because you're gonna have, it's like if you take 3 months to lose weight, technically you take 3 months or 6 months to maintain. This is the reality. Like I ethically tell you the reality. Whether you want to do it with a coach or not, this is what you need. You will need to do this thing forever. Okay? Then it's like saying, okay, how can I do it without giving up all my life? If you start not sleeping well, chances are you need less stress, less workouts, more walk, and you're gonna do maybe 3 months for you to not go back to 85, right? Whatever the case is, right? And it's like, so this is kind of like the long time. There are some people that can lose 15, 20 kilo at once. There are some people, but not everybody can. And we need to kind of like work towards, if I would be a better coach, I would do the protocol exactly for everybody the same. I would force them to lose weight, 10 kilo, all of them. And then some of them, they would regain back quicker. You know, so it's like, the goal is like, you go down, so you maintain, when you're ready, you go down again. And so realistic is like, you go down, you maintain, and you're going to get some back. You go down, you maintain, and you're going to get some back. But it's always less than you started. Do you see it? So this
yeah, absolutely.
so if you have the notion of that being the case, then there is no setbacks, because the setbacks is like, okay, when you mean setbacks, like, okay, I'm supposed to work out 3 times and I only work out 2, there is not a setback. It's like you need to evaluate how can you make more time to work out 3 if that's what you want. So there is no setbacks. But the setbacks, the question is like, I have a setback because mentally I'm getting 1 kilo back. How do I avoid that? Well, you go. I talk in a one call mindset. The tactical advantage of your mind is always going to want you to believe something or to do something or whatever, right? The mind always has a tactical advantage on you. This is why our fears and all that stuff. But if you know what's happening for real, for me, the last time I weighed myself maybe was now a month ago. Like, and I don't often do that. Like, even though, because like if I weigh myself every day, I'm very triggered to say, oh, if I don't see what I want, I'm gonna, and I do this for a living. Imagine other people. Like you know, it happens to everybody. So you see that that's the point. But this is how the maintenance work, and if you want to call it setbacks, how it works. It's like there is no real setbacks when you have a notion of what's going on, basically. Does this help?
Yeah, and yeah, definitely. So I'm also thinking, how do you then go from, let's say, one plateau down to another one? So how do you trigger that? Is it automatically by after some time, or?
It's basically what I just said. It's like saying, let's say that we got to, let's make an easy example. You lose 5 kilo. We got there by eating up to down to 1,200 calories, and then you work out 5 times a week and you walk 20,000 steps. You cannot go more than that unless you can, but you're not going to sleep well, the energy. At some point, your metabolism is going to create a plateau, a compensation mechanism. How do you get out of that? You do the opposite. You start reducing the stress. You start working out less. You walk in a little less. You don't go back from 20,000 to 0. You go back to, let's say, 10,000, and you try to do that most times, Selma, not every day. Most times. It's not it's never about an acute change. It's never about one time you're eating a burger or you don't. It's about over time, right? So you go back less stress, you increase the calorie. Again, you don't go from 1,200 to 2,000, but you probably go 1,400, and then you test. and you're like, okay, I'm taking my measurement every 2 weeks. I'm taking my so I'm checking that I'm not gaining back weight, or I'm getting back just a little bit of weight. And then you find a compromise. It's like when you get to 60,000, 1,600 calorie, you walk in only like 2,000 steps, you stay there for a while. And usually, like I said, 1-to-1 ratio is actually good. 2 months that you lose weight, 2 months you're gonna stay there without being triggered about losing weight again. When your energy is good, when your sleep is good, whatever is good, one parameter at a time, you break the plateau. It's like, okay, now the plateau is there. You start, let's add some walking in there. Yeah. One person, she's gonna might watch a replay tonight. Like, I'm sure she doesn't mind if I say it because she just posted. One person we're doing that with right now is Jeanette. For a long time, she wouldn't be able to break the plateau. She tried everything. And again, we find a formula for her to break it, because I needed her to get the memory. I needed her to see that it's possible. And now she's doing it. And now by the way, when other people comment about your picture, oh, what you did, how, that's real. That's when then it's when actually it's happening. If you see a transformation and you comment about it and people do it, it's because it's real. It's not just me telling you, I think you're changing, right? It's like many people, it's like everybody see it. So I see it, and it's like that. So this is how you break the plateau. It's like you need to do something consistently different. In that case, I don't think you are in that situation at the moment. So far, I don't think it's going to apply to you. I think you still have room to go down. There is a lot of things more we can do, and this we would address in the next check-in. But I really feel like mentally, knowing how I know you, sometimes you need to pay attention, because I have this thing about you. It's like you're very, very positive when you see results, and when you don't see it for a while, like you start, the doubts come in, uncertainty, right? So what I just here, I show you the process, what it takes, like how the weight loss work, and this is how it works for everybody, not just you. So it's like, now this way, there is no real doubt in there. It's more so like I have a journey that I need to go through, probably 10 kilo, another 6 months minimum, but then it's going to be 6 months to maintain. And provided that you can do it at once, this is what we're looking at. But chances are it's going to be stumbling block in there. When this happens, stumbling block, you just need to look forward. That's what I would do, like you look forward. I have a lot of things like all of you, like I have problems, like I see problems, problem in anything, in any sort of my environment, like this amazing job that I love has a lot of things in there, my relationships has a lot of things in there, my friends, it's not like, and of course, nothing, that the health is the same thing. There is always something. It's like I heard this expression, especially if you're a business owner, I think you are, right? So like, you always have to see it like, what is the next problem I'm going to fix? It's never about not having a life of problems. Big things, come with big responsibility at the end. So it's like, you always have to see it like this.
Yeah.
But I hope this answers the question.
A lot of it. But yeah, I mean, of course, as I said, the thing is, let's say I trusted the process, that's for sure. And I think that I'm definitely in the right place. It's just that sometimes also, so I have, let's say what I'm trying to improve lately is also having better habits. And that's my big, I think, challenge. But overall, yeah, I think this is going in the right direction.
Positive. I just see your results is definitely good. But take one habit at a time is the one thing. Sometimes it become overwhelming, but people want to change so many things so many times, and that's the problem. But one habit at a time will usually do very well. I'm still gonna run. I'm waiting to run the big challenge coming up in June. So like you're gonna see some information coming up. So this is gonna be a carb cycling challenge for But again, like usually there would be the mini challenges in between, like the water challenge, and those are good because the habits, because we work on one habit at a time. But then when you acquire the habit, you want to keep it. It's not like the challenge finishes, my habits finish.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the idea to continue it. Otherwise, is what it is like that. Okay. Did I answer you?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. Anybody else? Like we're short for time, so if you really wanna jump in right away, whoever really feels like it needs, you can come in, and then we'll try to shoot back at you the same answers.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in what are the most common excuses you hear?
But I hear excuses. Oh my God, I thought
When do you say, "Oh my God, that's bullshit"?
I
time.
am busy. That's
Time.
I think.
Time is the most what's human history biggest excuse, and the funny part is that everybody has 24 hours. And I really think like that is not about the time, it's about how efficient you are with the time. I always make an example of one of my former clients, Leila, that she's a business owner, and she had a business in Zug and in Switzerland, and she come down south. She used for another businesses, and she had like 3 kids, and she was like an athlete. It's like I told her to eat specific, like she was logging the food, like she was and she was logging the food with my fitness partner. It's like this is maybe an outlier, but that's an example that you see all the time. You see a lot of famous people. You see The Rock doing that all the time. You know, like whether they're on, you know, whatever they are on or not, which they probably look better under 50 than in their 20s. But that's a personality trait, I guess. But it's the biggest excuse in my opinion. But excuse in general is what people don't understand, that all these excuses that they just make is gonna basically can delay who you becoming, and is unfortunate because like you are your biggest enemy in general. People are their biggest enemies, and it's like you don't have to be like a high performer person to actually make something work. Like time is enough. You just need to like do a little bit of work. You know what I mean? I use all the time Cecilia here as an example. Like with a very little, Doris, she's not here today, but it's another one. Like with very little resources. Like they are not even in the full version of the programming, and they are able to do, because like you don't find excuses. It's almost like saying, what are the excuses I cannot find versus, okay, let's find an excuse to not do it. And I'm guilty of it myself too. I should walk more, but it's like I cannot walk. I cannot work 20 hours a day. I still have to like somehow sleep, right? And it's like my sleeping pattern is terrible anyway. And it's like if still I am guilty of that. Like, but I never say I don't have time. I just say I take ownership, and it's like if it rains outside, it's my fault. Why? Because it's like I still can have a choice to put an umbrella. If I have the resources, I can take a train and go somewhere that is not rain. If it bothers me, I can do it. So that's an extreme example, right? And it's like you take ownership to anything in your life, you're gonna be in a much better position that you might have. So this, in my opinion, is the biggest excuse. I don't have time. That's the one that I heard most. I don't have time, or I don't have money, obviously.
Yeah.
All of you are an amazing example of the opposite, because you understand what is worth, taking a coach versus like doing things on your own and struggling. And I always say, I think I made a meme or a reel. I don't know if I put it. I know I did. I know if I released it or not, but yet. But what that is like you can. This is also another excuse. Like I cannot afford it. And this is a very, like I said, I think in the last call, it's like the rich person, or the rich mentality versus scarcity mentality. Say I cannot afford it, kind of like is a closed thing. It's like you're closing your mind. The rich mentality, and it's not like rich, do you have money rich? It's more so like the mentality of a rich. Because there is a difference between being poor and being broke. Being broke is like you don't have the money right now. Poor is a state of mind. Poor is like you choosing for you to actually be in this situation. It's like you closing your mind, and you say, okay, how can I afford? How could I possibly find a way? Because it's like you're opening already even maybe you're not able to, but you're opening, right? And like my reel that I made, I remember that because it's like there are inexpensive lessons in life and there are expensive ones. Inexpensive is like you hire somebody when you need help. And of course, it might be expensive because there are program 10,000, 20,000 euro, whatever, but it might be. But the expensive lesson and the inexpensive is the one you choose to afford lessons. The expensive one is the one that you are forced, because when you have diabetes, then you can't go back from that one. If you have, God forbid, a bad condition, incurable, you cannot go back from that one, right? When you have 20 more kilo that you are, like it ends your marriage or your confidence or whatever, or depression, like you don't go back that one, and you have a medical bill to pay, that's expensive and you're forced to do that. Sometimes maybe give up your house. And then you have also something like your emotional toll. If you break up with somebody because like whatever, shouldn't be the right person either, because they stay with you because the way you look, right? But let's say you break up because you don't have the intimacy you used to have, and like that's an expensive lesson you're forced to pay. And you know how many times I say that to people and they're like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, what are you gonna do? Nothing, I can't. It's like, okay, you didn't get that. You have to experience that, maybe, right? So I would say those are the most excuses, but it's a very good question. I love you ask this question, because I really feel like this is gonna go a long way when people see the replay and say, okay, yeah, maybe he's speaking to me a little bit. Of course, never I speak to a person in person. When I say that, it's like it's never towards a person, it's more so towards an idea, the way I see things. And it's like, I think that this is very common, unfortunately, in the world. We have about 8 minutes. If you want, like, if you want more things, Malin, feel free. Otherwise, we'll see more. Do you have any specific question? According to, you're doing very well. I remember you said, in fact, you're traveling, right? I don't know if you had any specific things you wanted to ask for your own thing here.
Yeah, about the traveling, I think I don't have questions right now, but I was. Yeah, I just want to comment that I think excuses is a chance to not be accountable.
Absolutely.
Like if I had a scheduled a workout the other day, and I could say, oh, I can't go, but I stayed home and I didn't. I rescheduled it to yesterday because I thought I was going to shear my sheep. I have 3 sheep and they need to have their wool cut off, and I have to do it. And I could have said, oh, I can't go because of this and because of that, but I chose not to go because I wanted to get that done.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, I guess. Well, for me, I've had this weight loss surgery, and it's messing with my head. And I was thinking, for example, today I've been on my feet working all day. I've been shuffling horse shit from a pasture, like 5 large wheelbarrows and all of that. So, and I took a ride. I went riding, and I've also worked out. And I was thinking about the calorie intake, outtake. How do I know when to how much I'm supposed to eat, and how do I know if I'm moderately active or not at all active?
Chances are you're more than moderately active, but the thing is, like, it doesn't, maybe it happens every day. It's something we have to look into. But if it's happened like all the time, sometimes more, sometimes less, you don't have to pay attention, because there is going to be overcompensation. I mean, your body is going to ultimately compensate. So it doesn't really matter. What I know is like you lost, for instance, the first week, like almost 4 kilo, whatever. So it's like your body is reacting really well. And now we have a rate of weight loss, maybe like 0.5 kilo every week, or which is what is supposed to happen. And therefore we work on that. How do you adjust? It's like, let's say you don't lose weight for a while, for a month, then we know we need to do something more, or eating a little bit less in your case. So it's like, this is how you don't have to pay attention to that. Like, it's something that, but I know it might be missing information, but it's more so like it's something that you don't want to like know. I mean, if it's happening like this, just go on with it. It's something that you can do as a habit anyway. It's like you work like that. Then it's like, this is basically what we do. It's like, don't overcomplicate it. Like, when you start asking many questions, when you stop losing weight, you really need to ask, what am I doing right or wrong? But otherwise, like, it's no problem. But by the way, you're doing fantastic inside the program. Like, you're doing very, very well. And provided you came in, remember when you came in, you said, I take depression medication, and we know that this affects like the weight loss chemically. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm trying to get you to always be positive. I'm like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen, right? I wasn't expecting 4 kilo in a week. That's mind-blowing results. So like, so just keep up. Don't expect too much too quick, but keep up, because your body is definitely reacting like you were taking no medication, for sure. So that's positive.
I feel like I'm hogging this, but I have to ask one more thing, if I may.
Sure. Yeah.
This, when you say when you answered Selma before about stress, you have to reduce stress and everything. Do you mean stress as in stress running from this thing to that thing and just calming down, or do you mean stress as in activity?
Very good question again. Both. Is like your body is a sensor of it's like a thermosensor. It's more so like it's not a calculator or it's not a chemistry set. It's reacting to stresses. It can be positive stress, negative stress. It can be stress that just a run that some people, let's say Cecilia runs or walks, she doesn't stress. If I do 20,000 steps, for me, it will sense as a threat, as a stress. So it's very different, but it's like you start by reducing the stressor, meaning like if you have toxic people in your life or whatever that you can take out, you choose to take out, you get rid of those. And then the people that you have a boss that you hate, that you need there anyway, you cannot do anything. You start working on the stress, how your body reacts to that stressor, meaning like, you know how palpitations, sweating, I mean, those are real stuff, right? That's a stress response to the stressor, but you need to over time get better in handling those things. That's kind of physical. The one that you don't know is stressing you, meaning like if you walk so many times and you feel like it's a good walk and it's a stressor, that's the one that is problematic because it's like, it might be too much of an output, like you just mentioned before. So how do we know when stress is high or not and it's damaging you? It's like if you stop losing weight for a while and that's what you do, we take an hypothesis that might be the case. But of course we cannot know. So this is how it is. Did you answer the question?
Absolutely. I will mute myself now.
Okay. So we have only 3 minutes left. I want to kind of pre-frame this because today I really need to go. I pull in like 12 hours, I think, and I'm gonna have to go at some point. But what happens is like so if you want to say something in the next 2 minutes, that's good. If otherwise, I'm gonna put the replay of this inside the group, and I'm gonna tag you all. If you have any specific question regarding your situation, and there is only Lamis and Astrid left here, if you want to ask anything about your thing, write specific question, because what's going to happen, I'm going to respond by then. Or I'm going to send you a Loom video, or I'm going to send you something specific on your email, okay? Of course, these are limited in times. It would be nice if one time I have more time, we'll make this longer, like an hour or so. But if you need help in this specific situation, then I'll get you directly to you. We have 2 minutes. If you want to shoot really quickly, but this thing is going to go off at the 0. So
I have my question written, Jerry. So yeah, now you see what Astrid wants to say. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So let me.
I have a quick question. My question. Well, it's really been great till now. But my last week was really stressed because my aunt is dying, and my question is, how can I reduce the stress before I go to bed? But I see that my sleeping is really getting bad at this moment. Right. So how do you have tricks or something to relax, to go better sleep?
No tricks. Honestly, no tricks. And I'll probably get into your messenger and I send you kind of like a framework, because it's something highly long, what it is, but it's not something that is like, it's very case dependent. So it's more so like I'm gonna send you something and it's very case dependent. But I need to do it this way because there is not like something that goes for everybody. Otherwise, I would obviously say it. But I address that directly. But thank you for that. That's an excellent question as well. Ladies, I wish you an amazing weekend. If you need something from me, we're gonna get in touch as always. And if not, of course, like I'm always like you have your own check-ins coming up when they are. So if anything, we'll talk. If you have something for me, let me know. But amazing session today. A lot of love and talk to you very soon. Take care.
Thank you. Nice weekend all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.